Natural Niche, the alternative guy and gal.
In school, we are taught Greek, and Roman history. But when you look at the timeline, when the Greeks came into Egypt, Egypt was already, let me do the math, Egypt was already about 2,500 years old. So when you look at, if you're a Christian and if you look at the time frame when Jesus Christ was living, that was 2,000 years ago. So the difference, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Mhm.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So if you look at the time when Jesus was here, that was a little bit over 2,000 years ago if you subscribe to Christianity. When the Greeks came into Egypt, the time span between their presence in Egypt and the time that they built the pyramids was longer than that. Just to put it into perspective. So when they came into Egypt, all of the pyramids had been built at least 2,000 years ago before they got there.
Right.
This was before Socrates, Plato, any of them cats, right? And then the one thing about the Greeks is that they respected the knowledge that the ancient Egyptians had. So when the Greeks came in, that's when the first concept of Jesus was thought about. They called him Serapis. And what they said is that we realize these people are highly spiritual people. So we have to find some way to create a religion that will make everybody come together. And so you had a general called Ptolemy. He was Ptolemy. And the family of Ptolemies came in and took over the position of Pharaoh, whatever. They adorned the same headdress and the dress and they pretty much adopted the system that the ancient Egyptians put in place. And this is when the Greeks first went to the temples and studied. And they teach us that they gave us all these philosophies, but they learned it from the ancient Egyptians. And so they ruled for about 200, let me see, they came in 300 BC. And then in 30 BC, the Romans came in and took over from the Greeks. Now, the Romans had no respect for Egyptian culture or civilization. So what they started doing is tearing down the temples, knocking stuff off of the walls. Romans were the ones who created Christianity as we know it today.
Right.
And so Emperor Constantine, who was the emperor of Rome when Christianity was created in 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea in Turkey. He had all the bishops convene in Turkey, and he took the spiritual system from ancient Kemet and personified the energies. Because what ancient Africans did, they were highly intelligent people, man. When you think of ancient people, we tend to think that they were primitive, and these cats were highly advanced. And a lot of the knowledge that they had accumulated, a lot of that knowledge has been lost because scientists still can't figure out how they did a lot of stuff that they did back then with the modern technology that we have. You know what I'm saying? And so another thing is that they didn't make their information public to the public because they considered that sacred knowledge, and only people who were authorized to receive it were taught that knowledge. And that's another reason why a lot of that knowledge has been lost. But getting back to the Romans, in 325 AD, Emperor Constantine had all of the bishops convene in Turkey. That's when the New Testament was created. And what they did, and I've been to the tombs in Egypt, I've been to all of the temples, I've been to most of the tombs in the Valley of the King, I've seen the writings on the wall, I've been to Cairo, I've been to Luxor, I've been to Aswan, and they copied and plagiarized the majority of the content that's in the Old Testament and the New Testament and put it in the Bible. And Emperor Constantine oversaw the creation of the Bible, and that is when Jesus Christ was changed from Serapis to Jesus.
Mhm.
Jesus was created. This is factual information, right? And so when you're brought up and you being taught something, you're taught to believe. I know I was. My grandparents used to tell me, don't question God, just believe. That's a setup.
Mhm.
When you go to college, man, when you do research, you question everything. That's why you have a mind.
Mhm.
And when somebody is telling you not to question, they're trying to keep you ignorant.
Mhm.
And that was the design of it from the very beginning.
Thank you for joining us for part 5 of his story Debunked with Timothy Garnes and the Alternative Guy. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Click on the logo in the center to subscribe and stay updated with our latest uploads.